Hey everyone, we are back for another week of exciting rehearsals. This week we are talking all things music and the WGI Advisory Board meeting that just wrapped up recently here. But before we get going, we'll find out what made Ricardo say,
anyone in the activity understands and knows that for a group to come from outside of the United States to compete in WGI, it is a huge feat because the challenges for international groups are way different than there are here in the United States of America.
And why Cynthia said,
moment that I walked into that door, I really felt like steering committee people and the people that kind of have a loud voice by who they are really use it.
All this and more, so get out on the field and we will see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Welcome to another episode of Season 2 of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Steve McCarrick, and we are in for an exciting rehearsal this week. But before we get to all that, let's see who we got on the sidelines. We've got Cynthia.
Hi.
Hello. I feel like I haven't talked to you. It's been months.
It is. I really don't know when it was, but it's been so long. Good to see you.
I'm so excited because you were out just at the advisory board meeting, weren't you?
I was. I was. It was amazing. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it.
I know like nothing about what's happened yet, so I need to hear the full scoop, which is great. Okay. That's why we've also got Joey on the call. Joey, I think you were there too, right?
Yep, I was involved in the win side of the advisory board meetings.
Awesome. Yeah, super excited to hear all about that when we get back to it. And we've also got Ricardo here on the sidelines with us all the way from the DCI tour bus.
Bonjour. I'm actually on a short break from tour to come home to teach my kids at home this week. So just a few days off for my drum corps babies to teach my home babies. And then I'll be back on the road in a few days.
Man, that's busy. I can't wait to hear about kind of both of that and how it's going for you. And we've also got producing the show for us. We've got Trish with us as well. How you doing, Trish?
Hello.
All right, cool. So let's just get right into this here. I really want to hear about this advisory board meeting and kind of what's new this year, what people have been talking about. Cynthia, do you want to get into this for us and maybe
I'm having some ça va-tu? It's correct. Everything's fine. All right. So you saw my little sassy side, I guess. So what you're saying, the advisory board, it was completely amazing. It was my first time ever. I don't know where to begin. So people that don't know at all, like usually, I don't know the wins. You'll be able to go and wins and drums, but it's top 15 of world class in Scholastic and Independent, and then the top 5 of A class and open class for us. So you can imagine that the A class and open class kind of rotate often. It's not fairly often that are the same group. So you have those little baby. I was one of them. Those little shy deer babies going here and there in front of those like big humans that you never touch and see and talk to. And there they kind of do a review of the season by each division. Ron, which is the CEO, gave us a little bit of a speech, but I don't remember nothing. But it was interesting but I don't remember anything of this. It's long, it's fun. And then you have proposals for change rules that we can go into this, and advisory board people and board people that get voted. So it's a pack load weekend.
So how does that all work? Like maybe for someone who hasn't heard of this meeting before, doesn't really know what goes on behind closed doors, do the ensembles submit feedback on how they felt like the season went? Do they submit rule changes? What kind of happens there?
Yeah, so the rule changes, you have a date to do a proposal, and which we talked about like a couple of episodes ago, but you go to your rule book and you propose a rule change and you give a rationale. So for Callie Quire this year, there was only 5, which is not a lot, proposed rules, and it can come from an individual, it can come from a group, it can come for the steering committee, the board of directions, it can come from anywhere that's involved within the activity. And what was the other question? Oh my God, I'm so loopy tonight.
Well, I'm just trying to think, like, what does the actual weekend look like out there? So once a group submits a proposal, then are these proposals kind of brought up in a big public space and everyone discusses them?
Yeah, so the schedule goes fairly easy. On Friday afternoon, there's a caucus for the A group and the open group with A class and open class, which I thought was very, very nice, just to get everyone in a smaller group and not in front of that intimidating, very nice people, but still intimidating people, to go over some of the reviews of, for us, it's Dale and Carlo and Curtis usually, but he wasn't there this year. So Dale being the director of the Color Guard, Carlo being the representative of the educators, and Curtis being the representative of the adjudicators. And they also went through every proposal one after the other so we could give our opinions and open up the discussions within the A and Open Class Caucus. So when it's brought back the day after on Saturday and it's really discussed and voted, if the A and Open Class people don't talk, Dale or Carl would be saying, like, this is some points that were brought up and blah, blah, blah. And there's also people from the steering committee that just were there to talk to us and be there to also listen to what we're saying. And I don't know for you, Jose, but from the moment that I walked into that door, I really felt like steering committee people and the people that kind of have a loud voice by who they are really use it in a very, they're not shy to talk for a name of another group or talk their name, but not just like to represent the community. And then so after that, we just go into the big groups, big meeting, and they give the proposal. It needs to be second. If it's second, it's going to be talked about and voted on Saturday. Same thing for the, how do you say, the candidates? Candidates, yeah. So they go name by name on Friday night. If they get second, they go through, and then Saturday we have a full day of talking, voting much.
Is there any like proposals that kind of stood out to you, or maybe were like a big talking point throughout the weekend?
Thank you for laughing. Because for people that were there and are listening to me, I've been under the spot the entire week, not the entire weekend, but everything. Okay, so for the Color Guard,
Go there, Cynthia. Just go there.
I will. And yeah. So there was 5 proposals that I may not remember from the top of my head, but good proposals, and most of them were either proposed through the steering committee. So it was like bringing more than 50 member, being allowed to have more than 50 member on the TARP and have an unlimited number to align with all the other divisions. There was something about giving invitation to high schools, because I didn't know that for some district, if you're not invited by the organizations, you're not allowed to go outside of your state with your high school and things like that. And then there was proposal number 5, where someone proposed that the age out of A class would go up a year, because it is still 22. Proposed it to be 23, and that would be applicable for all international groups. So as of right now, there is a rule after all the age out rules that says that international people, not groups, not organization, but international, it goes with your passport, can be overage in all categories. Yeah, that's the right word. And that international groups are not allowed to compete in Scholastic. So that's kind of a way of like counteract to not have universities in Scholastic. And to be fair, it's discussed or questioned every year to me, or to like, I always have that one person that comes up to me at a regional and be like, there's overage in your group, right? Like thinking we're going around some sort of rule. And I'm like, yeah, there is. So that was not like a big surprise or anything. It was a rationale that was a little targeted, let's be fair, to basically said like,
Cynthia, can I jump in and be real messy real quick? Okay.
Because it's not your, yeah, you go ahead.
I'm going to be messy. Okay. Just so all of our listeners out there in the world know how it all went down. Cynthia's group is from Canada. Cynthia's group had 5 or 6 performers.
6
performers. The minimum Number of performers for WGI is 5 performers. Cynthia's group had 6 performers, and they medaled because they were fantastic. And the controversy over proposal number 5 is that because Cynthia's group is an international, they had members that were older than 22 years old. Anyone in the activity understands and knows that for a group to come from outside of the United States to compete in WGI, it is a huge feat because the challenges for international groups are way different than there are here in the United States of America. So, I'm going to put myself out there and say that all of us who are friends of Cynthia and know the mission of Cynthia's organization, we all know that it is about fostering performance. And there was a proposal that was put out there that kind of specifically really kind of targeted Cynthia's group this year. So I'm going to say it. I know you don't want to. Yeah. I will put it out there in the world. Y'all can come for me in the comments if you want to. It's fine.
But you know what? We're not saying anything wrong. It was the rationale was written and to be read publicly. So you make your opinion around the rationale that was written there. My job as a representative of Lazy Eclipse was just to give her point of view, open up the field for people to ask questions. It was mostly that. And the director of Lazy Eclipse, the now director of Lazy Eclipse, just asked me to kind of straighten out the blatant lies that we did have 6 performers. We had one overage. He was 23. And after that, for the 6 performers, our average age is always around 17, 18. So it's not like, but on the other hand, if I say that, then it's like, why do you need an overage class? And that's where I went more into it with everyone saying like, I cannot represent the entire world. I can represent Montreal. Right now, our average age is around 17 and 18. It might go up, it might go down. There's so many people that come to me and be like, hey, so you're going to have more members who medal. And I'm like, there's none. There's no other more members to have. Like, it's not an age thing. Unless I go steal in other organizations where I teach everywhere, so I won't do that. But there is a group from Japan that right now is in A, and they had 50-year-old people, and one year they had a 50-year-old and a 4-year-old on the same floor competing in A class. But and the one thing I will say, one thing that was that happened that made things really funny is that as soon as Carlo on the caucus read the proposal, he read the rationale, and through the entire time he was looking at me being like, hey, you're going to talk, and I was like, don't have to. And and then in the end he's like, all right, so go ahead. And I said exactly that. I said, and then go a little bit more on why we need that rule to be open. And then Carl Lowe stopped me and he's like, I don't think they're talking about you. And I was like, well, we're the only international that medaled, right? And then everyone started laughing and be like, all right. So it was what it was. But in the end, like, I was a little stressed out. Not that it would pass. Well, we have a chat. I was stressed out when it came out. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to fight with anyone. But I really felt the support from the entire community being like, this is not going to go through. This is not even a discussion. It was, every time we talked, it was more about like, but how is it, like, curiosity of how is it at home? Why is it like that we don't have music programs, we don't have marching bands, we don't have high school, like all of that. It opened up a lot of discussions. And I was feeling every time we would talk about it, I would feel more and more support for the international. I mean, not just, like I said, I cannot represent the world, but what I do represent. So in the end, it was like a really good thing because it opened up nice discussions. Yeah.
Cynthia, it's so funny you should just say, you just brought that up, because the whole time I was thinking, there might be people listening that don't really know, what the challenges are for you to even do a regional. I mean, my kids do the Bethlehem regional. We did it the last 2 years. I mean, we're in New Jersey. The regional's in Pennsylvania. It's about an hour and change away. The school bus takes us, and the school bus takes us back. But that may not be as easy for you guys. So why don't, in a very brief way, why don't you maybe spend a minute telling the listeners who are thinking, well, what's the big deal? They went to the Bethlehem Regional, but how much of a struggle was it for you to get from Canada to the Bethlehem Regional?
Well, before that, I think the other thing that is really interesting about Canada is that, and then I talk to a lot of people don't see us as international as when you come from Japan or Holland and all that, which I completely understand. But there is a lot of big differences. And in Canada, in the whole Canada, there's depending on the years, between 10 to 15 organizations. You have 15 finalists. We have 15 organizations from one side to the other of the country, right? But yeah, for us, first of all, there's the exchange rate that can bring us down a whole lot. $1 right now for us, your dollar is $1.40 about average, and cost of life is not lower. So it's a lot of money to go down. Just for Bethlehem, we have to rent a bus that is usually for the weekend it went so high after COVID, but maybe 5,000 to 7,000 depending, just for the bus. Then the Two Knots Hotel, then the drive. So for us, it's 8 hours. The closest regional is Salem, which is 6 hours of driving, and the borders. So everyone needs a passport. Everyone needs international insurance and all this. And the other thing that is really interesting that came out this weekend and I never realized, the regionals for us are the only time that we have WGI educators giving us comments. Because think about your local circuit, like even if you don't go, you will have 1 or 2 or 10 WGI credit educators. We don't have that. We have no WGI educators at all. And locally, we have the same 5 educators that are trying their best. But we are, and the other thing is that it's all of that, and Quebecer groups and Canadians, because I will include Pacific Airs, although I don't know much of their situation, we're on the top of the wave. Like we've show excellence and really good programs. So people don't know or think, and I didn't even know that we had that much differences. But yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like when you really lay it out that way, people listen to the rule and they think like, oh, these international groups are able to like get a leg up against me for, having this little discrepancy in the rule, but it's neglecting the huge leg up that any group in America has for just being where people do color guard. Like,
I think the best way to put it is, with here in the United States, we have scholastic programs. Like students in our schools are doing color guard. There are hundreds and thousands of these programs across the country. In Canada, that doesn't exist. So, it's different. It's just different.
I think it was great what Ron said at the opening meeting on Friday that, when he was talking to all 3 divisions, guard, percussion, and winds, he said, when you're voting or where you're talking, you have to ask yourself, is this because something happened to you, or are you voting yes because this is what's best for the activity? And, I think this proposal was one of those ones that he was kind of shedding some light on, because I think from the beginning it was preposterous what they were asking of people outside of the norm.
Yeah. But it didn't go through. It didn't go through, and I truly believe it got second because of misunderstanding, and that's another thing. Like when you're in open class, you don't know that a rule doesn't have to be second, like a proposal doesn't have to be second. There was too long of a silence, and so no feelings negative about anyone. And the 4 organizations that voted, and I don't want to talk for them because maybe they're trying to do something about it right now, but it didn't go through unanimously. Is that the word? Unanimously. But the next morning, I got messages from 2 representatives of those 4 organizations saying like, we did a mistake. Like not a mistake as on like we thought about it. Like they legit thought they were voting against it. Like it's just the discussion went so left and right, and then the way it was written, it's legit, and they're big names. Like it's Avon Carmel, like they're big names, people. And in the end, I was like, well, I'm glad you reached out to me. Now I'm Facebook friend with you, so I can talk during the year. Like it's just, I'm like, I'm cool with the bridge, and they're trying to amend it, but in the end, like it just made them so human for me. I'm like, okay, like it's so yeah, it's all good. So no one be mad at those 4 beautiful winning organizations. They all came back being like, oopsie. And I kind of like that. Like, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it's water under the bridge there. And thank goodness that rule did not go through. That would have sucked. But let's move on to the news. All right. Let's get into it here. Do we got any volunteers for who wants to go first this week?
I
Trish, you
don't
want to
mind.
go
I can
first
go
this
first.
week?
I was just going to volunteer. Isn't that funny?
What do you got for us?
So, shout out to my Syracuse friends. I have a lot of people. Cynthia and I both have a lot of friends. We both marched in Syracuse that have kids that march marching band right now. Well, if you're one of those people, you could potentially be in a movie, because there's a movie filming in Syracuse called Summer of '69, and they have put out a casting call. They're looking for an entire marching band. Want to be in a movie? American High is holding a casting call for background actors to be in their next project in Central New York. They're looking to fill hundreds of roles, including an entire marching band, a soccer team, a competitive cheer team, and they also need extras. So if there's info on the web. You must apply online at andcasting.us.epcastingportal.com/apply. If you're 18 or older, there's also a link if you're under 17. But what a great opportunity to be in a movie. If there's, one of our friend band directors out there, or if there's a group from outside the Syracuse area that wants to bring their whole entire group up to Syracuse, Cynthia and I could give you some ideas on what to do in downtown Syracuse. And you could be in a movie. So I'm sure everybody out there can't wait to see this movie and see who actually made the cut. But it's a cool thing if you can do it. It's cool.
It's cool that that's happening in upstate New York too, because
yes,
I've heard of some friends doing movie gigs in California and they marched Blue Devils, but
yes.
Some good hometown East Coast people. We can get some East Coast people into the movies with this one.
That's right.
Nice.
That's
yeah, definitely
right.
got to go check that
So
out.
fun.
Let's take a look at this next story here. I'll go next. We've got Metallica doing another competition, their second annual competition now to put Metallica songs in big marching band shows. So they are bringing back the prizes, bigger, bolder, and brassier is what they've described it as on metallicamarchingband.com. But units can compete. There are different divisions. So whether you're like a small school or you're a very large university marching band, everybody gets to submit something, your ensemble playing a Metallica song, and you could win all sorts of funds and instruments and all sorts of good things that your ensemble needs to succeed. So this was a super cool competition we followed last year. Lots of awesome performances came out of it. And if you're having a little bit of FOMO from last year, you're in luck because you can do it this year. So check it out. Maybe listen to some Metallica albums, get a little inspired, and write your next show. Let's take a look.
Much fun.
I think it would be fun, man, especially as a drummer. I would love to actually write just a death metal show. It's a perfect excuse. I'm doing it for the good of the ensemble. We need to win the money. This isn't my my 90s passion coming out here or anything like that, but Ricardo, why don't you what do you got for us this week?
Well, I am excited to tell you about the U.S. Band's educational DCI event day clinics because they are expanding for the 2024 DCI tour. So this means that everyday people, high school band students, get the opportunity to learn and play alongside a drum corps in residence at one of the 5 shows, the DCI Event Day Clinics, that is powered by U.S. Bands and Drum Corps International. These events, these educational events, are part of an annual DCI summer season since 2022, and it's to provide students and marching music educators with the opportunity to learn from some of the top DCI ensembles and instructors in the marching music industry. So across the 90 stops on the DCI tour, 5 will include one of these U.S. band clinics during the afternoon hours prior to the start of the corresponding DCI tour event. So it's open to all categories. I know, right? I know. It's open to all categories of marching music performers and educators, and participants of the DCI Day Clinics will work alongside their corps residents. As a part of their experience, they can witness the ins and outs of drum corps rehearsal processes, and they will also get the opportunity to learn a portion of the Future Drum Corps' 2024 field production. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And, right? So, educators, here's a bit of a boost for you. So, for every 10 students that you get to go in your group, one educator gets free tuition. And the registration does include a ticket to the DCI event. So,
Yeah.
they're half-day clinics. They're about 5 hours long that take place at the venue before the DCI event. There are various sessions for winds, percussion, color guards, and educators. Side-by-side learning experience with members of the drum corps in residence. Sessions with the drum corps staff to learn excerpts of their current show. Educator-specific sessions with the U.S. bands team and drum corps staff. And you also get a t-shirt, because who does not love a t-shirt?
Well, I wasn't in until I heard I get a t-shirt.
I mean, listen, we do a lot of things for a t-shirt. But some of the places that these are going to exist is Waco, Texas on July 18th with the Cavaliers as the featured corps, and July 22nd at Mesquite, Texas, also with the Cavaliers. And then July 23rd in McKinley, Texas, and the featured corps is the Mandarins. And for all of you Blue Devils fans, you get 2 dates to pick from. Friday, July 26th in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Newark, Delaware on July 30th, where the Blue Devils will be the corps in residence. So
Newark,
get out
Delaware?
there.
I work in Newark.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to the clinic and learn from the Blue Devils?
I'm going to go to the BD clinic. That's awesome.
I love it.
I hope it's not on a work day. I might not be in
Sick.
Newark if it's
You
not
might
on
be
the work day.
sick.
Very sick.
That's
I'll
so
write you a
cool.
note, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little doctor's note, but I think that's such a good idea. I was just talking to someone the other day about how like seeing drum corps in real life when you're like young is like that's what gives you the bug, and then you end up going and doing it. And especially if you pair that like with the education, you pair it with like seeing people that are not that much older than you.
Oh, that's
like,
the biggest thing. Being able to
actually
stand
doing
side
it.
by side with these people that you think are superheroes, and then you find out that they literally are the same age or just a little bit older, and they got their start the same way that they did. It's great.
Yeah, it can just set a whole entire generation of marchers up. So that's really cool. I didn't even know they do that. That's a cool thing. Joey, what do you got for us?
Mine's really quick, and it's centered around some maybe if you're not able to go out and do these clinics, which I think I just want to say, if you have an opportunity to do that, 100% find a way to do it. I think that it's the only reason that I'm here is a clinic like that. But I'm lazy now, and I don't feel like I could go to a clinic, so I'd want to stream it instead. Amazon's actually picked up a pilot for a marching band show, so it looks like we're going to get a series. Yeah, really, really neat. It's fiction. It looks like it follows a group of teens. Beautiful. It looks like it follows a group of teens as they navigate adolescence while finding a sense of belonging in their school's marching band. And I think it's going to speak to how a lot of us kind of entered into the band room and found a home. And so I like that this is, creating a light in how we see marching band, and not some, like, why did you like band camp, type things. I think this is a cool way to get an actual view of what a lot of us, I think, found in the pageantry arts or marching arts as like a sense of belonging. So it seems really neat. Looks like it's from the people that have made Pitch Perfect and A League of Their Own and A Man in Full. So
Okay.
I feel like we've got the right team to make something really cool that represents us well.
I will be sending that trailer when it comes out to the people I work with, because the other teachers where I work, they'll be like, they call it, we don't call it work because we love the activity so much, but she was my co-teacher, but she's across the hall now. Will say to me every night when I'm leaving, "Are you working tonight?" Meaning, do I have rehearsal tonight? Yeah. Are you working tonight? And I'll be like, "Yeah." She'll be like, "I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it." She's getting the trailer right away because she needs to see what this is all about, and she'll find out how I do it.
Yeah,
I really hope they can do a good job of painting like a good picture of why people fall in love with the activity in the way we do. Feel like maybe our last run in wasn't too great when we had The Rock. Hopefully the Pitch Perfect people know a thing more about music than The Rock did for his little series that we had. Do any of you even remember that series? It was like a drum corps reality show or something.
I don't, but I do remember the one that was on FX. It was like the Cadets and the Blue Devils.
That's the one. I think it's the same one. It was
okay. It's the same thing.
That's the one that The Rock was on.
And Victor was like the featured cadet, and then he was going home and coming back, and all that went on.
And Brandon Olander was on snare on the top of that weird mountain for some reason.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I forgot most of that. So I'm going to go and review some of the tapes because that's something that I need to see. But we'll be right back after this quick break.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
All right, everyone, we are back, and I am excited to hear all about the Winds Advisory Board meeting. Joey, do you want to get us started with how the weekend went for the Winds folks?
Yeah, absolutely. So it went great. It went fantastic. The vibes are always really, really chill in the room. And I think we've had a couple of conversations, Stephen, you and I, about, the differences we see between the other two divisions and then Winds and how, we get to create in a different way. And the purpose of us, or what we're trying to achieve right now, is different than maybe the other two idioms. And I think the same vibe kind of entered the advisory board. So similar to how it is in the other two divisions, you make a certain placement at World Championships and you're invited to the advisory board. And we had a lot of proposals. We had 10 proposals and 7 of them got passed. One of them, one of them just was one of them got joined together with so Prop 9 and Prop 10 got joined together, and then 2 of them just weren't where we are right now as an activity, and so that'll be a proposal for another day. Only one of them didn't get seconded. I want to talk about first. So the vibes are cool. We all, had donuts and we vibed together. There was laughing, like sitting next to some of the industry's elite designers. There's Matt Harloff there, Wes Pendergrass is sitting in the corner, just, having a Diet Coke. And you got all these different groups, like people that you value their opinion, and they're just sitting there chill. And they're saying, this is why I feel like, what we're doing is sound music education, and to hear it from them is so cool. But the first prop that came up that kind of caught some people off guard was expanding A-class competition at championships to a 3-day format. And so right now we've proposed that A-class prelims starts on Friday at a local high school, and then all groups go into semifinals to have a second run on Saturday at Truist, and then the top 5 groups make it to finals. And so that's cutting a lot of A-class groups from finals, but you've already ensured that they have 2 runs. And so to do this, it saves time on Sunday because we're very limited. I don't know what the other two award ceremony looks like, but as soon as that confetti comes down and they say congratulations to the last group, there's already workers on the floor sweeping up. Like we're kind of rushed out, and so it allows for more groups on Sunday to perform, and it gives everybody the chance to have 2 runs. There's been so many groups that have shown up and just had 1 run and gone home, and when we talk about how much it costs to have groups go. This was a great proposition to have groups have multiple runs in Dayton. And then there's another proposition to get to waive registration fee for your first WGI event if you haven't participated since 2022 to draw more groups in. We want to make it as accessible as possible. And so, I think everything that we voted on was to make this more accessible and easier than ever to be a part of. And, those are the 2 props I was really, really excited for. We changed the analysis sheets for music and Viz to be weighted more on achievement, kind of similar to what the Guard Regional A and A class have, to, again, ensure that people are in the right class, A, but B, that we're being safe and we have sound teaching to get us from A, open, and world. And so, those 3 props were amazing. And then the last one that I want to talk about is we changed the minimum performance time to be in line with percussion to 3, 3.5, and 4 A, open, world, respectively. So again, making wins more achievable and more accessible. That was the whole point to the entire weekend for us. Friday night we had the big caucus. We were dismissed to our rooms, and then we were done in like 20 minutes.
Really?
We read all the proposals. We read who was wanting to be on the steering committee. We said, what's everybody's plans? Okay, we'll see you on the strip. And then we were done. I was waiting for some people in the percussion room and the guard room, like saying, oh, when you guys are done, we're going to go do something. And I don't know when the guard got out. We ended up just dipping, but percussion took until 10:30 because I don't know how much I'm supposed to share, but the meeting was cut short on Friday because people were being a little spicy, hearing how on the percussion side,
gets dramatic.
Yeah,
people get mad.
I think the cool thing that passed on the percussion side though is finally it's been brought up for years and years and years, but finally concert class, the artistry page is getting revamped. They're taking artistry out of concert percussion. They're going to come up with a new sheet. Wow. And so I think it's important to say that all the decisions that were made this weekend, whether it's guard percussion or winds, this was something I was asked to say, but when I was talking about some of this stuff, but all these proposals were passed by the advisory boards and the steering committees, and now goes to the governance board. And so nothing is set in stone yet. So if people really want to get at lazy clips, there's still a chance. Get to your governance board and give your piece.
Call your senator.
I don't think so. But it's a good point though, because especially when it's about it's money things, like you're saying, you're waiving the first year tuition. Like I really hope for you guys it goes through, and I think it's important. Like right now, the board of directors are trying to make sure that all divisions are as similar as possible within its rules, which I do appreciate. But there is some differences that we need to keep, and that's probably why. I mean, the proposal of the number of performers on the field for color guard was very tight. So in the votes, it didn't go through. But for us, the thing is, you can have, I don't know, like Steven may say something, but you can't have 25 performers in the pit and 20 on the floor where 50 is a lot. So I hope they're going to waive the fee for 1 year for growth in your division. Makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean we're almost there, and as soon as I asked people, I was texting people as soon as this prop went out. I was, I'm from North Carolina, and we had one of the top 5 highest the most people at the regional. We had 10 performing groups. The other 2 had 13 performing groups, and then it wasn't even close. It was like 3 or 5 or 1. And so I asked a lot of my groups and my friends here in North Carolina that have WINS groups, if we waive the registration fee, if we made this more accessible, would you come to Dayton? And I mean, it was a resounding yes. And so I think with these rules, if they get passed by the governance board, I think this is that step. This is this next level that WINS has been looking for, because we've been shooting for this 65 groups at Dayton as a pinnacle mark. And I think this is the year it's finally going to happen, because everybody was on the same page. Everybody sees the benefit of wins, not just as a marching trainer for the fall, but it also helps with the jazz band and the concert band. Kids are just on their horns more often. Like, why wouldn't you want that? And this is a great way to see that happen now. So we're really excited.
It's so cool to see that. I don't know, Trish, how you feel about that. And I'm going to sound like I'm older than I am, but I said it this weekend. I'm born in 86 and I've been in the activity since then. So I'm not, I wasn't performing, but I saw a lot of changes and a lot of growth. And even then in 86, WGI was something, but it's so fun to see the 3 level of age. Like, you have you that are toddlers, and then the teenagers that are fighting on Friday night, and then the oldies that are in but it comes with so much creativity and so much openness to change things. Because, I mean, we have little peeking windows of, like, if we thought of maybe sometimes one day think about maybe changing a word in the sheet, and people are like in the color guide. So for you guys to be like super malleable with what you're doing, just thinking about the future, is really refreshing. And I think it's so cool.
Yeah, no, the win space is something that I'm absolutely in love with. You know, I've gotten to be in the percussion room and the guard room before, and it's not the same vibes. And that's something a lot of us talk about in that room, is that, you know, it's kind of huggy, you know, teddy bears and rainbows over there. It is just fun. Like, I'm telling you, we shared donuts, we had lunches together. You know, we're finding ways to
Friday night we need
together.
to meet everyone and make all the 3 or like divisions, because we were in the same room, but we listened to Ron, which he did have interesting things all the way. But we should mix and match together, because it's and I don't know, like, we cannot talk about percussion, but maybe, and parenthesis, anyone can go to Vegas. You don't have to be, you just have to be a voting, those finalists are voting, but anyone can come. So we should find like one representative of On a Water Break in every room, so we can have like the general side of it. But
absolutely,
next year.
On a water break retreat.
Yeah, I'll take the on a water break Vegas trip. That sounds like a good one.
But just the fact that, you know, those of us who have been around WGI for so long are, you know, that these classes and these, you know, and these all other programs are even happening. I mean, just even at my high school now, I mean, it took me so many years to get a winter guard. Then it took me so many years to actually go to a regional. And now, fingers crossed, the winter guard's going to go to WGI next year. We've done regionals, but I think we're going to go to Dayton next year. But we also finally have an indoor percussion. And what triggered me to bring that up was when you talked to Jose about the proposal about concert percussion. We have a concert percussion group now at our high school. It's like, oh, I got to tell them that. You know, 5 years ago, that wasn't a thing. 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing. So, like, the fact that, you know, that this is all happening and that, you know, there's advisory board meetings about this now and you guys are all putting your heads together to make this expand even more, it's incredible. It really is.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to say about my experience with the weekend, and the last thing I want to say about, you know, or what I have to say, I not want to say, I'll talk about this all day, but the last thing I have to say about the advisory board and what I learned about WGI this year, it is, I believe it is objectively the most transparent marching arts organization that exists right now. Because anything that Ron wants to do has to pass the governance board, and everything that he wants to say there's conversations that happen, and there's some things that came up on the win side of things that I'm not sure I'm allowed to speak on yet, but he brought it to us and we talked about our response to it. And I don't think other organizations have that, because there were other people that were in that room that are from those other organizations that had no idea that this beef was happening. And really it's about philosophies and things of that sort. But it's really cool that Ron and what WGI has built and how it's structured with steering committees and advisory boards and governance boards and the accountability. Our new head of performer protection is, that I think just speaks to how much WGI cares about its members and us as an organization. It is I learned it is incredibly transparent, and I'm appreciative of that.
I think transparent is the absolute best word you could use right now, because I was so impressed by the fact that I don't even think the weekend was over yet. And Dale Powers made a video like, hi, everybody, this is Dale Powers and a color guard, blah, blah, blah. Here are the proposals and here's how they were voted on. I mean, just left it all out there, completely transparent. This is what was voted, and it passed X amount to X amount, so like we knew everything. And I saw that the other groups did it as well, that's great. That's phenomenal.
And I don't know if anyone, Joey just said, I don't know if anyone knows Will, but he would be an amazing guest to have. I don't know if he talked in your room, because he did a speech. He's there for performer security, and he did a speech after Ron, and everyone was like, can you run for president, please? Like, I cannot vote, but I would vote for you. Like, he was completely amazing and unbelievable. But he also joined at some point in the color guard, and we were talking about security, concussions, the recording of it, and all. Like, it went on in very interesting ways. But he brought us back really quick. He's like, it's all cool, you're trying to do everything, but you're not allowed to have underage health log and blah blah blah. Like, he's really, really, like, I'm very excited for his new position.
Yes. And like, again, I think the transparency and we know that this is a problem. So now we have somebody that, oh my gosh, his speech when he came up and talked to all of us divisions. I mean, that's a hard thing to come up and say, hey, I'm the new sheriff in town and I will find you, is kind of how that could have gone, but really he was like, I'm here because I want you to be helpful. I want to be helpful. I want to make what you do easier. And it's about getting those people those sour apples in the bunch that don't know their place or don't know when enough's enough. His job is to find those people. And I'm sure he's not going to be as happy as he was with us on that stage, but it was the best way to be introduced to him. And I think it's a shining, or just evidence of a shining light that what WGI is. I can't say, like,
yeah, I agree.
We're a part of something really cool, and that's what I've got. Yeah.
Well, let's pop over to what are we doing here, because I've got one immediately that I want to bring on.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing in percussion? Why are we so mad all the time? Why? I feel like, it's a legit question to maybe chat. Joey, you kind of have been in that room a little bit too. The percussion community, I think, is like so bitter. Like, everyone's so mad that they didn't win. Everyone, every year. Like, even if you just won last year or something, like that, then it feels like it's just a very degenerative conversation. My impression over like a couple years of paying attention is that not a lot of rules tend to like get adjusted significantly because we can't agree on anything anyway. Well, what's going on over there? What's your take on it?
I think that I don't know. I think that there's a different mindset when you play drums. I think, I marched drum corps, and so to watch the snares sit there after 8 hours of drumming their drums, they'll have a quick snack and they'll do this, and they'll go to bed. I think it's a different beast, and I think the other thing to kind of think about is there's a lot of, I think, to be clean in that sense, there's a lot of, I think the people that teach to get there are like this a lot, and I think it's just kind of in the culture of being a drummer, or I think I'm not supposed to say drummer anymore. It's percussionist now, and I think we're going to see a shift in the way that we talk to each other in that space. But I don't know. I hear
that.
Yeah,
I almost want to upend my whole "what are we doing" on that one too, though, because you've touched on something that I, as a drumline guy, kind of don't like about the trend that the activity is going percussively. which is like it's almost minimizing a classic culture of drumline by acting like everything needs to be percussion and everything needs to be taking the same values for what is good and what is like highly academic in a percussion studio and applying that to drumline, which you can do. I'm not saying it's not impressive and it doesn't sound good and it's not artistic. But like, I feel like there is a minimization and like almost an erasure, and that's a melodramatic way to put it, of just being a drumline guy, just playing snare drum or just playing quads or bass. It's like now everything has to be this complex orchestral product and we need to call each other percussionists. It's like, dude, I'm in the battery and I've always been. I don't play marimba.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're not going to catch
Maybe
me
I'm
in a
just
tux.
on the wrong side of history there, but that's like, I feel like it's just the flow of the river that you can't escape nowadays. You know.
Mm-hmm. I think people are looking to be respected in this, and kind of like we were talking about a little bit. A lot of us drumline instructors, battery instructors, aren't quite done with college yet, or if we are done with college, it's not in music education. We've got a lot of marketing, and I think we're looking. Just like in any space, I think we're looking for respect, but I don't know that calling yourself something and trying to be something you're not isn't the way to be respect. I think, to your point, I think if you're a drumline person, then have a clean as hell drumline, have a good drumline, and that's enough. You don't, I tell a lot of my mentees and people I work with, you don't need a degree to be stellar at something. You don't need a degree to be a great person. You definitely don't need a degree to be yourself. And I think when we talk about like, am I this or am I that? I think you have to ask yourself if you're yourself. And I think in that room, there's a lot of insecurity, and there's a lot of, am I good enough to be in the room, or I'm good enough to be in the room now. You better hear me, rather than, how do we get more people in this room? That's how I feel.
No, I think you're right. I think there definitely is. I mean, it's also probably a bit of the nature of like once the activity's gone on for a longer period of time, like Winds is in a very nice sweet spot right now where it can be so productive because everyone's goal is growth, really. Like you're competing, but everybody is got the same ambition of growing the whole activity, which is not really the same shared goal in the drum room. Like in the drum room, I'm here to win and to advocate for what I think the activity should be, So I think you're right. It would be good if we would have a little bit more focus on what the whole activity would benefit from. And to play devil's advocate to myself a little bit, a lot of the people in the room that are looking to be recognized more as percussionists are wanting that because for years it's been about the battery, and the pit is something, the front ensemble is something that's like had to come to this position of prominence in the activity in the first place as far as percussion goes. So
I agree.
I don't know, maybe that just imbalance in the first place is why it's also a little bit not productive. It's like you've got some guys there that represent this world of battery people that are on the field marching, and that's one way of life, and you've got other people in the room that like represent front ensemble and orchestral percussion, and that's 50% of the WGI percussion activity, and that's it got its own set of what we should be adjudicated on and what's valuable, and figuring out like what's compatible between the two just proves not to be easy, I guess.
I think you hit it right on the head.
Does anybody else got Ricardo, you look like you might have a gush and go suddenly.
Okay. All right. So here it goes. I'm just going to put this out there. What are we doing about teaching teenagers and performers about wearing deodorant? Okay. I know. I taught middle school for a little bit. I get the hormones. I teach high school now. I get it. I was in the gym with the Academy Color Guard the other day, and I had to have a conversation with them about, guys and girls, we need to make sure we are reapplying our deodorant. Like putting it on one time a day is not enough because y'all are outside in 108-degree heat and baby, some of y'all gonna stink. So what are we doing? Can we get a Lumi sponsorship for the marching arts? Can we get Secret, Degree, Dove, somebody to sponsor?
Yeah.
And give classes and just talk about making sure that you're giving a little squirt underneath those underarms and other places
I
of the
love
body.
you so much.
Or swipe or whatever it is you need to do because don't nobody need to be smelling all of that.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You're so right. You're so right. Reapply is not just sunscreen.
It does not. Reapply. Oh, I'll make a t-shirt. That's what it's going to say. Reapply does not just mean for sunscreen.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you actually, I don't know if you knew this, but this podcast brought to you by Arm & Hammer this week. Joe, we'll have to talk to Jeremy about that. Maybe he can line us up. I agree. Wear deodorant if you're listening to this and you're on tour for the love of whatever you believe in. Wear deodorant.
Your section will appreciate you. You might be Horn Sergeant next year.
Right. You definitely could be a color guard captain if you smell fresh.
Okay, speaking of the whole drum corps scene, what are we doing still not announcing our show? Okay, so yesterday, Carolina Crown, one of my favorites, as you all know, put out their crown logo, their little iconic crown, for about half a day, which left everybody going, well, okay, what is it? What are they? Okay, what are they? What are we doing? What are we doing, Crown? And I commented back on Instagram, just tell us. Just tell us. But don't they realize that, like, I get it, it's the whole secret thing and all the mystery behind it and whatever. But like, don't you know that, like, when you announce the show, we all run to DCI.org to see where you're going to be, to like plan out our summer.
It's
so
true.
like, you know, it's like, oh, I can't wait. You know, I mean, Crowd could play Happy Birthday as a show and I would run to see it. But I mean, you know, I saw that crowd and everybody was commenting, it's this, it's that. I wrote, just tell us. Like, don't give us that, you know, just tell us. So it always makes me crazy when it's like, what's this one doing? What's that one doing? What's that one? Do we think we're going to steal it? Like, I mean,
Trish, I think it's getting a bit ridiculous anyway. I mean, back when I marched in the 1900s, you only found out somebody's show like by picking up Drum Corps Planet or Drum Corps World, whatever that was. That's how you found out people's shows.
Yes.
And now these productions of show announcements are just like ridiculous.
But did you see the video that Crowd put out today on social media? Oh, and it was zoomed in on the kids during the uniform reveal. So it was like, here's Carolina Crowd's uniform reveal. And it was the kids going, oh. Can we see it? I mean, it was like, so, I mean, I just don't get what the whole mystery is. I mean, whatever.
I think you're right, though. Ricardo had and like we used to only know the show on the first show, like Winterwise and stuff like that, and people were worried of like stealing an idea of some sort.
Right.
As soon as I started designing, as soon as I have an idea, it can be like a week before the WGI of the year prior. I'll be like, I'm doing this. I will say to, and so no one takes my idea. Like I'm part of the troopers that I think told their concept like what in December or some sorts. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, in the end, yeah, I agree.
I think people let those lower 12 corps, like the troopers and Madison Scouts, I think people are excited to see what they're going to do, and that's the corps they're going to end up trying to audition for. So I think we're doing the activity a disservice, or some of these kids a disservice, because you remember when Madison Scouts did their there was like a risque show they did. It was a musical or something.
Jesus.
Yes, it was
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes, I had a kid that was a rookout, and he was playing trumpet, and he was a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh.
And so when they found out what the show was called, it was already too late. They had announced it in March. He wasn't going to get on another drum corps, and so his rookout was done. I feel like sharing kind of what the
wow.
show was about. Especially with something special like that. I wish that there was more. We talked about transparency earlier. A little bit transparency of what we're doing, because it's not like BD said that they're doing the romantics. It's not like Bluecoats are now going, oh, like we're gonna find something Shakespearean
Right,
to go
exactly.
get
Right.
I think everybody shows that at this point or on this level are so different. The design teams pick such different avenues. Like everybody has their own identity. I don't think it matters what the show titles are or the source material. It's all about what the kids are doing. That's gonna make the summer. So the words don't matter. I'm right with you. Like let's announce things sooner. I'm hyped about them. The ones that are announced, at least.
I've just been sticking my head in the sand and not paying attention to anything because I don't want to deal with the waiting. I'm just going to show up at a competition or on. I hope they still do the movie theater night. Do you know if they still do movie theater night?
I think they are doing it this year. I hope they are. Anyway.
The first one, they used to do that.
They would do
Ford
a
Field,
premiere.
Yeah, that premiere. I don't know if they're doing that this year.
That was so good. That was such an easy way because
It
doesn't come up to the
was.
Northeast until near the end of the summer. It's a little while before we get it, but all right, let's pop over. Let's hit this gush and go for this week.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right, let's work our ways around to my gush and go last because my gush and go is a little bit different than normal. But Joey, do you want to get us started with something to gush and go on about?
Just remind me. I'm so sorry on the gush and go stuff. What am I talking about? I've got.
This is like anything you want. Actually, it's like a minute, your platform to just like gush and go on about something from your life that maybe does or does not relate to the marching arts that you would want to share with us.
Oh, gotcha. Well, then my gush and go is I'm about to finish my last high school spring training. I've been doing spring training since I had like 3 days after WGI finals, and I've been doing spring training since. So I'm done with my last high school for about 3 weeks. I'm going to jump on tour with Genesis in about a week, and then I'll be home to do 6 straight band camp weeks. I'm super excited to do those. I'm excited to be in the hot sun all the time. You can tell by the tone of my voice. And then I'm excited to go to DCI finals for my first time in a while as a staff member. And yeah, my last free day is tomorrow, and then I'm on the road. I'm super excited about it.
Yes,
Busy.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, though. Keep him busy with the best things that you want to do. I'm a little jealous. I mostly stay busy behind my cubicle in the bank back office. Much less satisfying.
Well, I think the Matrix is real, and one day we're going to realize it was about your life, so it's okay.
I'll break out one day, and you'll just see me just like marching 8 to 5s through the hallway or something. But
it's a glitch.
All right. Trish, what do you got this week?
So I know I've talked about this a few times. I finally started a little color guard club at my little Catholic elementary school in New Jersey. And tomorrow, all of the clubs that took place during the year are having the little club expo. And we're going to do a little performance, a little tribute to Taylor Swift. Who doesn't love Taylor Swift, right? So we're excited about that. But so my classes are done. My kindergarten graduated last Wednesday. All went well there. So it's been really easy for me to pull the kids out to rehearse. So they wanted to rehearse, I think it was Friday. And I was like, I'm hot and I'm tired. You know what we're going to do? I've been meaning to do this the whole year with the clubs. Let's watch some videos. So we watched some WGI videos. And I said this when I first started the club, and I'm going to reiterate it now. Those of you who actually, I'm sure Ricardo can relate, those of you who actually teach at the school where you're doing color guard, it's another level. Like when you see kids that you had in, right after lunch computer class, doing drop
Yep.
spins. It's like, whoa, like what's happening here? But to go watch WGI videos with them and hear them talk about what they liked, I'm sure you can imagine their favorite show was Amp's Joker show. I'm sure you can imagine.
That was a great show.
It really was. So I texted Lewis and told him that. But experience it with kids that you teach other subjects it's next level. And I'm so excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's awesome. I never really thought about it like that like when you're really bringing it from kids that don't do it already and you just know these kids for being kids at school.
Yeah.
It's like really cool to see them start to pick up your hobby. Know that was you.
I love it when kids that I have in either my theater classes or my dance classes, they decide to come in and audition for color guard and then they bite the bug and they just get ate up with it. Most of my leadership are kids that came from my class that I was just like, hey, you should try this color guard thing. And they fall in love with it and they just grind on it. And it's great. I love it.
Yeah, that grind on it is definitely like, I can remember being the student in high school where it's like we got introduced by our teacher to the WGI shows. And then I was like, Rhythm X this, like MCM that, like that is how you get the bug and you become a band person like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome, Trish. Good luck with the Taylor Swift performance.
Thank you so much.
Cynthia, what do you want to gush and go on about?
Well, it's a small gush and go and maybe an open mic for you guys to help me. But I'm, so long story short, I only marched DCA. I never marched DCI. I taught Les Tentors, which is an open class here in Montreal, so it's different. Now I'm in my first experience with world class. I'm joining troopers. I'm leaving Friday for 4 or 5 days in Casper, Wyoming, to be with them. Yep.
Nice.
And then they're back in Casper, Wyoming, and apparently it's a big thing for the town because apparently there's no one there. and then I will be meeting them right after San Antonio Regional. So my gush and go is, I have a bad back. I'm old. We talked about this. We're having a sleeping bus. So it's like beds instead of their beds. The staff bus are beds. That makes sense? Instead of chairs. And
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
super happy because I'm not going to have to sit. My back's going to be fine. But I don't know how to settle in a bed in a bus because usually you have that little shower thing that you put in the window and you put your glasses there. Like, did you ever had a sleep bus? No?
So
I wish.
we have one this year at Academy, but I chose to give up my seat on the sleep bus because I wanted to be with the rest of the color guard staff.
Oh.
Wow. Honorable.
Now you sound way more woke than I am, Ricardo.
No, it's a bun. I mean, like I went back into teaching drum corps and stuff because I built my staff because it's all people that I love and I didn't want to be separated from them. You know, I wanted the same summer experience as an instructor that I got as a performer. And I remember the last times I was teaching DCI drum corps, I had the most fun being on the staff bus, just hanging out with my friends and having fun on the bus going from show to show. So I don't want to give that up. And I know that I have meetings and stuff, and I probably will jump on the sleeper bus for the meeting on the first leg of the drive, but then I'm going to jump back on the staff bus and ride with my friends.
Well, then I'll take pictures and I'll show you guys what I did with my sleeping bus. And my other little gush and go is, yet again, I keep on saying like how good the troopers have been with me. But I am a mom. I don't want to be without my daughter for 3 weeks. And it's been a little weird to think about joining, like having a 6-year-old in those sleeping buses and all that. So first of all, everyone, if you doubt about having kids, it takes a village. Color Guard and Drum Corps and the pageantry is the best village on earth. I will be on tour. My parents will bring my daughter. My boyfriend will bring my car. And we will go from Lawrence as far as we can. So fingers crossed, Sarah will be okay with driving all the way to Indianapolis. And then I have friends that are like, yeah, just let me know. I cancel my flight and I'll drive with you if you're there. So like, so for everyone that is doing this, we're being flexible and it's amazing. It didn't even start and I'm amazed already.
That's awesome. I love your family dynamic since everyone's band people. You guys have like a whole road trip planned to like support your tour. It's awesome.
Yeah, we did. We had a Sunday night meeting with everyone being like, we're going to take that car and then that car. And then Sarah's going to go this way. And Alexandre, my boyfriend, is going to go back home on a plane because he brought my car. So he won't walk all the way to Montreal. It's so cool.
Awesome. Well, you gotta let us know how it goes. I don't know if we can get you in here when you're on the road. Maybe we could through the Zencastr mobile app, but
yeah.
Otherwise, I'm excited to hear about it when you get back. That's super exciting, Cynthia. Ricardo, what do you want to gush and go on about?
Oh, well, I am on a short little break from my drum corps stint right now, and I am home with my babies doing our color guard camp. And it's awesome. Like I'm having a fun summer doing the drum corps thing. I'm having a fun trip home, seeing my husband and my puppy dogs and teaching my kids here at home. I'm excited about going back on the road with the drum corps. It's just, I don't know. I am getting to live my best color guard life this summer, and I am here for it. It was what I needed, and I didn't know I needed it.
Oh, it's so cool.
That's awesome. I'm glad it's been going well for you. I totally know what you mean, like missing kind of that experience of when you were like having that, being the member on tour and stuff like that, and getting to actually like relive that with the staff that you put together sounds like it would be just such a blast. So
it's a blast, man. It is fun already. 2 weeks in, and I'm like loving it.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about it. I can't wait to definitely come make sure I find you guys when you make your way up to the Philadelphia area. It seems like there's a lot of different drum corps that I'm going to need to find. The On a Water Break diaspora is really getting out there now, I feel like.
Yes.
But awesome. Why don't we actually pop to a quick commercial break and we'll come back and I'll get you guys with my gushing going. We'll wrap.
It's Jeremy, and here are your announcements coming from the box. Don't miss all of our bonus content, including On a Water Break in Rhinestones with your host Lexi Duda, exploring the world of the Twirlers. Don't miss Parades and Drum Majors at Step Off with your host Jack Goudreau, and get lost in translation with your host Cynthia Bernard, exploring all the words that confuse all of us in the marching arts all across the world. And go Behind the Lens with marching arts photographers all across the country with your host, Chris Marr. Plenty more bonus content from On a Water Break, so listen anywhere you get your podcasts. If you want to be on a Water Break as a guest, or you know somebody that would make a great guest for On a Water Break, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media. Okay, field staff, take it away.
Let's reset.
All right, and we are back, and I have a very special guest joins the show here, actually a very close friend of mine who I've been producing music for 4 years. I am so excited to introduce the podcast to my good friend, NW Eazy.
Woo!
It's funny, you got the applause. You didn't even know we got the applause queued up for you.
We got the sound effects on it, yeah. No.
You know we do. We did a long one for you, okay? Okay. But Eb, let's get into this real quick. And you can do your 32 count life story. Bring our audience up to speed on who you are and your background as an artist.
Gotcha. Let's get it popping. All right, so my name is NW Eazy, and I immigrated to the United States in 2004 when I was about 5 years old. I got here with my green card and eventually became a citizen, and I fell in love with making music. And now me and Steven about to take over the world. Yeah.
Nice. That was about 16 counts, but I think that you gave us all the points that we need. We gonna let the music, I think, talk for ourselves, because I've talked a little bit on previous podcasts about how like we've had a bit of a journey making music, and now we kind of feel ready to release it to the world. So this will be the first single that we are putting out, I believe, on Juneteenth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Be free.
And man, it's been a process. It's been a lot of fun to make this project. And honestly, I really look forward to the drop. I don't think they've really heard something like this refreshing in a long time. I think like people are looking for something like this.
I agree. Let's play it. We'll chat about it.
For sure.
Trying to retreat, they finna tell you free. Needs up on the night, they trying to kill us, we just trying to be comfortable. I never am a target on my back, you see. Told me pull them bootstraps up, ain't had no boost for me. Noose in my garage, keep telling me it's not for me. The revolution is alive, the news to show you rioting. The system really racist, everybody play the victim seat. I just wanna live inside a world where I'm young, black and free. And drop so many keys, they leave me broke or deceased. Mom and child passed away, another victim of the streets. It be hard to get a plate when everybody gotta eat. We been hungry for a minute, we see food and we gon' feast. Now we starving, moving heartless, even in darkness. Still see a snake, watching move, backstab your heart quick. Never turn my back on my brothers, been through some hardships. Ducking bullets, running from Jakes, we did it all now. Popping bottles, we hit the club, still moving cautious. To fight the demons with designer, I spend it all. But this money bring a new set of problems, no way to solve it. Get some more racks in your back and kind of straight bullets hit his daughter, ain't for the father.
So that's the first song that me and Eb will ever drop together. We have 8 more queued up to drop later that week, about 2 days after. But yeah, what do you guys think of it?
That's a bop.
That's
a bop.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Song of the summer right there.
Thank you, dude.
Okay, yeah.
That is definitely gonna be on my tour bus listening playlist for this summer for sure.
Yeah, we should all figure out a way to have like some sort of warm up on this. So like we hear it around DCI.
1,000%.
We're about to see Troopers and Academy spin to this.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely probably going to be one of our little spin warm ups. I'm here for it.
Oh God, I would love that. That would be so cool.
Man, that's super fun.
That's what we gotta do. That's me leveraging my own community a little bit.
Yeah,
Eb, since we got you on a podcast basically, and we can ask a couple quick interview questions, like what does that song mean to you as the guy that wrote the lyrics for it?
I mean, I feel like this is like, honestly, I wrote this song to really voice so many of my opinions are just about like, the social justice movement. And, when we talk about police, or we talk about people who are, feeling as if their governments aren't doing something for them, or they feel something like a sense of revolution. I really wrote this song to be, a calling to like people who can feel like, the things they see around them, they want to change, but, you feel powerless. But this desire to be free has to be acted upon. This is kind of my way of acting upon it. This is my sense of freedom. And I honestly want this song to really connect people and really just, let's get back to this desire of freedom that we possess. And why do we possess it? Because we're currently not free. It really mean a lot to me because, so much of the music I make, I feel like it talks about, a deeper side of myself or just a deeper side of people in general. And this one touches like a whole different base in your mind and your soul. Like, so this song is, I feel the power it could possess, and I really want to use it for something, intentional.
Yeah. It's awesome. I'm glad that it means something like that to you. We've been working on this song more or less for 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I made this beat back in 2020 before my lease ended at Penn State, and I graduated and left. The beat's since been remade, I think, once or twice over. It's been released once on SoundCloud where it got hundreds of views. A meager hundreds of views. But we've been we always kind of knew with this song that we felt like there was something there that should be captured better, and that should come to light in a real professional way.
Yeah.
So
And shout out SFC, because man, he made it like I don't know if you heard it in the end of the track, but literally I'm just like, wow, that's beautiful. Like he caught that little moment after like we finished recording, and honestly I feel that way every time. Sometimes like when the song comes on in my like little cue, I wouldn't even play it if I'm like not in the mindset to really enjoy what I'm saying, because like I said, I feel like it's powerful. I'm happy everybody enjoyed it. I appreciate that for real.
Yeah, I definitely think it's powerful. Those lyrics definitely, resound with me, and it's saying something, and it's saying something in the right way. It's cool, man.
I appreciate
it's cool.
that. I appreciate that.
yeah, and like just at a technical level, man, even though like I work with you all the time, I don't think I compliment you enough on like some of the internal rhyming that happens and stuff, like the noose in my garage, keep telling me it's not for me, or the like talking about the boots as well. It's like there's just a lot of actual pretty intricate little rhymes nestled into you actually saying things that are meaningful to you. It's I like it. I'm very proud of the song. I'm very excited to release it with you.
Hey, same here,
Juneteenth. That one comes out Juneteenth. And then I believe June 21st, the rest of the album, right?
What streaming platforms are you guys going on?
Yeah.
What are you dropping on?
All streaming platforms. I mean, I think Spotify and Apple Music are the primary ones.
Yeah, we'll be on Pandora, Tidal, and Audio Mac, all that good stuff.
I guess,
awesome.
As someone not in that world, and our producer, our backing track designer for Eva is a hip hop producer, and so he does kind of what you guys just displayed for us. How do you drop an album on these platforms? How does that work?
So we use a distribution service called TuneCore. There's other independent distribution services you could use, like United Masters, DistroKid. I really like TuneCore just because of the customer service quality, and honestly, the interface is a lot easier to use. They've never withheld my music or done anything like shady in terms of revenue splits. So I like the consistency of the product, as well as, like I said, the customer service aspect is really big for me because they respond rather fast, and a lot of these stuff, they can't call anybody. They don't have any call center you can call. So the email, communication is usually really slow, but they do a pretty good job of getting back to you fast.
Yeah, shout out TuneCore.
Shout out TuneCore. Yeah, as someone that's just getting into it, like Ebb's released stuff a little bit more than me. It's a lot easier than I anticipated it. Like for people that listen to this show that are maybe musicians in their own right, but don't like make and release music, I think like you should look into it. Some of these distribution services are free, or they might have limited offerings to what you can do, limited capabilities, but like having your music on Spotify and Apple Music is not something that's difficult to get done. It just takes a little bit of effort.
Yeah, for sure. Just a little bit of time, and the entry level stuff is usually free. So if you want to just get your feet in the pool and just start to drop something, like you got no reason to. We live in a crazy time.
Yeah. Don't be like me and Ebb and sit around for 4 years with all your songs in a Google Drive instead of.
I actually dropped some.
Our producer,
we're finally dropping it.
Our producer friend says I can't win a Grammy for something in my files, and so he'll just continue to throw beats out.
Yeah,
that's fire.
That's the flipped that we need that type of energy now.
Sure,
that's what we got to be on.
Sure. We on it this summer though. We flooded.
Heck yeah. Yes. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So let's just recap that real quick. We'll be dropping 2 singles on Spotify and Apple Music at NW Eazy, EAZY, and SMC is kind of my producer page where I'm dropping all the instrumentals as well as its own like accompanying album to our like mixed project. So singles are dropping on June 19th. 2 singles. One of them you just heard. One of them you'll have to wait and listen to on the 19th. And then the rest of the album comes June 21st.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be listening.
Hey, appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Sweet. Absolutely, dude. Thank you for popping on here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you to our hosts, Trish, Ricardo, Cynthia, and Joey. Eb, where can they find you on social media before you bounce?
I'm on everything really as n.w_easy. I think my TikTok is n.w.easy. But you can find me on Instagram, n.w_easy. You can find me on YouTube, n.w_easy. _easy. Also follow the New Wave podcast. We're going to start doing a lot of different stuff this year. We're going to do some, sit down podcasts. We're going to do some music reactions. We're going to do some like live jam sessions. We got a lot in store this year, so look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. Find Eb, follow Eb. You can follow me. I just made a page for anything that I'm going to do ever as a producer. It's at Mastered by SMC, because I also would love to offer my services as a mastering engineer now that I've, break some ground in learning how to do that. So follow me at Mastered by SMC. Check out the show. Follow us at On a Water Break if you haven't already. Frankly, if you listen this far into the show and you don't follow us, that's insane. And before you close out your podcast listening app, write us a review, share it with a friend. We will see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.